Hello, everybody. On tonight's episode of Backseat Quarterbacks, I'm joined by the trifecta, Darren, Greg, and myself. I guess I'm joined by myself every day of my life, unless I have depersonalization and then I am having out of body experiences. But I am joined by Greg and Darren, and we are going to talk about week 18, the final week of the regular season. There are three games that matter. We are going to spend most of the time talking about them, very little time talking about the other games. Seeding implications, whatever. Most of the seeds are already set, but there are three games that matter. And so we're not going to spend much time on this intro. I'm still on vacation, if you cannot tell by my background and my windswept hair. Darren's girlfriend had a very nice compliment about me earlier. I do not know what happened to him. I think he just took offense to me saying that, but he will be back shortly. Sorry, Darren. But without further ado, here is Greg, and maybe Darren will be back. How you doing, Greg?
Doing good. I love the intro. We're talking about depersonalization, getting deep into philosophical thought right now. And I think that's a good way to start when we start to talk about NFL. Darren, how are you, sir?
I'm a songbird. I will tell you, I'm in a hotel room. Last night, I was watching Landman, great show, as always, and I was startled to hear what I thought was somebody getting brutally stabbed, but it was actually people having extremely passionate sex. So if that happens and you hear this over the intercom of this computer, just know we're gonna go through and we're gonna just listen to them while we talk football, and it's gonna be a it's not we're not gonna cut out and we're not gonna pause because it happened around this time yesterday, a little later. So if they're still here, I don't know if they checked out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was very surprised at the sounds they were making. It sounded like they were doing a joke. Like it sounded like they were the noises were insane. But we're gonna just I just want to warn all the listeners and you too, if that happens and you guys are going to be like, what is happening over there? It is
Uh,
not, it is not us in this room, obviously, but it is a room next door. Um, if you hear me, do not do that, please. Uh, if you could hear what I'm saying. Um, but we go into week 18. Here are the records from last week. I did not check beforehand. Greg, you always try to correct me. Tell me if I'm wrong here.
Cup.
You did lose the week, so
Yeah, it was
I
bad.
don't know if that's okay. So Darren and I went 8-7-1. You went 6-8-1. We
Yeah,
all lost our best bets.
yeah, it was a brutal week. That's what I had.
Okay, so we go into week 18. All of us are pretty close. You are still winning 129, 122 with three pushes. We all have three pushes. I have 128 wins, 123 losses, three pushes. Darren 127, 124, and three. So two games separates Darren and Greg. One game separates myself and Greg. A good year. We're all above 500. And then with best bets, I'm 13-4. Darren 5-12. Greg, you're 4.5-12. So a little bit of separation there. I think I've won that,
No,
unless
you've
something crazy.
you've won that. We can put that one to sleep.
Yeah, we'll keep doing them though, because hopefully I can get another win here. And I keep going down because I think it's good to have 13-4. That's an awesome record so far. Um, let's just start, I guess, with the Saturday games. They put the two good football games on Saturday. I kind of wish um, the primetime game was the Sunday night game because I really do not care about Baltimore or Pittsburgh, but we have to watch on Saturday night. We'll start in the morning. Carolina at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's 3-point favorites. I do not know how they are justified as 3-point favorites. If that tells you where I'm picking, that means I'm picking Carolina. I think whoever wins this game is going to get absolutely throttled by the 5 seed. I think that is going to be the loser of the 49ers Seahawks game, unless somehow the Rams get that. I don't think they can anymore because they lost to the Falcons. But regardless of whoever the 5 seed is, I think they will beat them in this game. But I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers to win this. Both teams are limping into the playoffs. They can't take care of business. Bryce Young, if they win this, they kind of have to give him an extension. Do not do it. Don't force yourself into giving a bad extension out here, Carolina. Baker, get your labrum sewing up. Do whatever you need. They're clearly limping in. And Todd Bowles, I'm actually enjoying the Monterey Coast, in Carmel right now. I think Todd Bowles would love to live out here. I think this is where he should spend the rest of his days. And I'm serious. I mean that seriously. I think he should not be in football anymore and he enjoy this place. This is a beautiful area in the country. It's one of the most beautiful areas I've ever been in my life. I'm just giving him a recommendation because a football coach he is not no more. So this should be his last game coaching, and I do actually hope the Panthers win this um, because it would be a better outcome than watching Todd Bowles coach another playoff game. So I'm taking the Panthers +3. I think they get the outright win. Gregory.
I 100% agree with your take here. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's wild that they have limped into the playoffs to actually have a playoff spot. I think they've lost 7 of 8, and Baker looks hurt. The defense can't stop a nosebleed. There's just nothing good about this team right now. And you're right, Todd Bowles needs to move on, or Tampa Bay needs to move on from Todd Bowles, one or the other. This is a team that could have been in the running for Liam Cohen, and I can only imagine what he could have done with this team. But, he's instead rejuvenated the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're looking great. But yeah, I'm taking Carolina +3. It's not even a decision. You're going to give me, I think, the better team with plus points. It's easy. Darren?
Is that true? I mean, I think you might be right.
No, this is, if Tampa wins this, I think they're not. If Tampa wins this and Atlanta wins, then I think it goes to Carolina. I think you're right there. If Atlanta doesn't win next week and Tampa wins this week, Tampa's in. Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
All these teams should just rest their starters and let Atlanta be. Atlanta and Carolina should, or the Saints and Carolina should rest their starters, and Atlanta should win that for free because everybody should hate Tampa. I know that's not going to happen, but I know it's all interdivisional, but I did not know that. hmm Can you look up the odds right now of who's going to win the NFC South? Because it has to be Carolina minus like 200. Because there's two things that have to happen: 250 minus 250 minus 300, something like that. 180. I don't know. Okay. Well, damn, I did not know that. I was just celebrating Drake May's MVP win at the end of that game. Honestly, is what I was doing. So I was drinking Kool-Aid. I woke Alexa from her slumber and just started giving her Drake May information and odds last night. So she was not pleased with me. Uh, anyways, okay, so we're all on the Panthers again. It's our third straight week being on the Panthers. All three of us in conjunction. We're 1-1 in those two, and I honestly think we could have been 2-0. That game against the Seahawks was kind of fishy. That was a weird game, a very weird game. All credit to the Seahawks. But talking about the Seahawks, they're playing the 49ers in San Francisco. Am I reading this right? The San Francisco 49ers are 1.5-point underdogs at home against the Seattle Seahawks, and I actually think that's the correct line. I'm just surprised it's the line that's actually being put out there. I do like Seattle in this game quite a bit. There's one cause for concern. I think we all share that. It's Sam Darnold in a big game. I saw the graphic today. Greg, you saw the graphic. It's unbelievable that this is real, but it's the quarterbacks that won 13 games in a row in back-to-back seasons, and it's the best of the best in modern football. I mean, before we played 16 games or 17 games, it was 14-game season. So, I mean, Joe Montana didn't have this opportunity, or Marino or Bradshaw, because they'd have to go 13-1. But in the modern day, it's Brett Favre has done it. Aaron Rodgers has done it. Peyton Manning's done it. Brady's done it. And Sam Darnold's done it. That's the list. And it's pretty unbelievable. And Darnold's done it on two different teams. He did it on last year and this year. It's unreal. So I'm just nervous because it's a big game. Last year in week 17, week 18, he needed to do something in the last week against the Green Bay Packers, and we saw what happened there. Difference is the Packers had a better defense than this 49ers defense, and I think this 49ers defense is very susceptible to get thrown on all over and ran on, and they just aren't a good unit. Prove me wrong. I'm going to just say the Seahawks are able to score at will. They have a good defense. I think they're going to win this game outright. I need them to win by 2. I think they're going to win by more than that. I think they're an impressive football team. I'm going to go Seahawks minus 1.5. I think they're a really good team. I don't know if they're going to be able to win 3 straight playoff games, but getting the bye gives them a better chance to actually getting the continued run in the playoffs and winning a Super Bowl. Again, Darnold's a concern because we've seen him collapse too many times in big games, but the numbers are the numbers, and he's been a really good quarterback the last 2 years. He's had a few hiccups, and he hasn't had the Jared Goff long laundry list of badness or the Tua cold game list of badness. It's been just, 3 or 4 really, really awful moments that we just have tattooed on our brain. And I think here's an opportunity where he can actually shed some of that. And it's not the biggest moment. This is a moment where we need him to play well. I think he's going to play well. Give me the Seahawks. Greg.
Yeah, I'm going Seattle here too. When we last saw Seattle versus San Francisco, it was week 1, and we had San Francisco at full strength up in Seattle, and that came down to the very last play, and we just couldn't get it done at the very last minute. And I don't see it being that close this time. I think Seattle's a more complete team here. And of course, the big game scenario for Darnold is the scary question mark. But I think that there's just so many other elements that are in Seattle's favor here that you kind of have to go with the stronger defense. I mean, you saw that game on Sunday night against Chicago, and it just kept going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and nobody could stop anybody. Seattle's going to stop these guys, and they're going to stop them, I think, more often than not. And, if Kittle's not back and healthy for this game, which I think he probably will be, that's another element that Seattle's not super strong against the tight end. So if Kittle's back, that is a bit of a worry. But I think Seattle just has, I just think they have the better team. I think they've got the better coach. Shanahan's a great coach, but I think, I don't know. I like McDonald a lot. So I'm going to go Seattle here minus the 1.5. And I think they can get this. I think they're going to be motivated. And they're going to come out ready to rock here. Darren, what do you got? Yeah.
Hey, they go both ways. Or switch hitters. I mean, I'm excited for these 2 games. I not as much as the first one, but this game's gonna be this should be a fun game because I do think that Seattle's defense is great, but McCaffrey and Kittle, like you said, Greg, the tight end ability that Kittle has and that the Seahawks have not had an ability to stop really so far this year. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but basically I'm saying Kittle can score against this team and get downfield and get in between those zone coverages. And I think that it does create a mismatch. I'm excited for it. I do think Seattle's a better team, though, like you said. McDonald, another guy the Ravens could have had they moved off of Harbaugh when they should have. Talking about the Ravens, little segue. We're going to speak about them right now because that's the Sunday night football game. We usually don't do this, but because these are the 3 games that matter, why not? Ravens are at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's 3.5-point favorites. All Pittsburgh had to do was beat Shedeur Sanders and score more than 29.5 points total between the 2 teams to give me some bacon last Sunday. That would have been really nice. I didn't even have the money line. I just needed them to actually score 29.5 points. Would have been nice. Well, we missed that by 10 points. You missed that by 10 points? Yeah, I missed that by 6. Oh, believe me, I didn't even know I didn't react to losing that bet the way that I should have. We should not have made it down to Carmel. The Steelers are 3.5-point underdogs here. It seems a little rich because I don't think Lamar's playing. They're being coy about it yet again. All it is a back bruise, and he didn't play last week. Why didn't he play with a back bruise? I think so. I mean, it seems like it's probably something worse than a back bruise, just being real. I think that he's probably not playing in this game. So it's Tyler Huntley versus Aaron Rodgers, and you're giving me 3 points. TJ Watt's going to be back in this. Have we heard anything about DK playing in this? Have they upheld the suspension? Have they said you can come back, DK? What's going on here?
I think DK's out for the rest of the regular season, so I don't think there's.
Wasn't it a team suspension? It wasn't an NFL suspension. He had the appeal it still? I don't know. Okay. He's out. So
Yeah.
I do. Okay. That makes sense. So no DK, no Lamar, probably. You know what? I'm taking the Steelers. I think it's disgusting. I think whoever wins this game gets to play most likely the Texans in round 1 is what it looks like. Enjoy that. Enjoy that game. I think that Aaron Rodgers' probably last game as a quarterback will be against the Texans, or Lamar playoff game and his playoff non-successes will be against the Texans, because I don't think either of these guys can beat Houston with how their offenses are playing. I'm gonna take Pittsburgh to cover 3.5, and I think they're gonna probably win, especially if Lamar doesn't play. If Lamar plays, still 3.5 is fine. These games are close, but Baltimore probably gets it done. Is kind of what I'm thinking. Really don't have any inclination for why I feel any of these ways. I think both these coaches should be fired. And I don't think, or should be mutually parting of ways. They deserve that respect, right? We've talked about that in the past where it's like, what's the difference? Well, both these guys should take a year off, do TV. Maybe Tomlin wants to get right back into it if a good job opens up, but Harbaugh can do TV or something and yeah, get back into it next year, like the next season, and it's all good. I think both these guys are stale now with their entire philosophy. It's just this is a common theme. I think I saw a tweet recently that said a lot of these teams have like oorah coaches, Dan Campbell's, Pete Carroll's, and you kind of need a combination of that plus like a good philosophical game planner that knows how to combat weaknesses with strengths. And it just feels like Harbaugh, like kind of both Harbaughs, but really John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin and Pete Carroll and we talked about it with Todd Bowles. A lot of these guys just kind of feel like they're over the hill. You know, it doesn't feel like they have this pizzazz anymore to be able to get it done in the NFL. And I don't know what's happened. I don't know if it's just they've aged out of the game and it's passed them by a little, or if it's something else. But I feel like with both these coaches that's happened. I just feel like their philosophy of the game is not what is needed or is as popular anymore if they don't have good offensive and defensive minds around them. And of course, look at Baltimore's coordinators. They're not there. And Philly, I think, is using Mr. FedEx, Arthur Smith. How has he done? Like, what are we doing there? He's the most obvious offensive game plan ever. Aaron Rodgers, I can't believe he's actually been successful there. Sorry for the long-winded answer. I'm going Steelers, but still, it's like, those aren't good coordinators. I'm sorry.
No,
Greg?
I agree. It seems like once you make it into the NFL, especially, excuse me, once you hit
Getting
like,
emotional.
yeah, I'm getting emotional. This very very sensitive topic for me. But when you get to like head coach level, once you have reached that, you now can hang around the NFL for the rest of your life. I don't care if it's as an offensive or defensive coordinator or a quarterbacks coach, you're going to find a job somewhere with somebody for the rest of your life until you're 80. And that's just how it is. It's like this kind of mafioso style organization where that once
Yeah, a lot about
you're in
that.
for life, man. And so, yeah, that's how you end up with, Tomlin, who's been stagnating in Pittsburgh forever. I mean, he has a great winning percentage. I will give him that. He does have that. And so does Harbaugh. They both have great winning percentages. But when it comes to the playoffs, it's always for the last 15, 20 years, they make it, almost every year, and then they're done. And for Tomlin, that's excusable because his rosters have been subpar. For Harbaugh, it is inexcusable because you've had Lamar Jackson, 2 MVP years. One of them, wasn't official, but it was the MVP year last year. And you've just squandered, 5 years of this guy. But anyways, potentially, like,
Yeah.
especially looking at what he's doing now. I mean, it's like, wow, have the wheels completely fallen off? Is he going to, I'm sure he'll bounce back next year, but yeah, is he going to play in this game? I don't know. All this negative talk being said, I am taking Baltimore minus the 3.5. This is based on DK, I think, being out. And I think they found something in the game against Green Bay, which is this guy named Derrick Henry, which if you give him the ball, he can wear down your your defense over the course of a game to the point where he has 4 touchdowns, 450 yards or whatever. And he just drains the clock drive by drive by drive. I think they can utilize that against Pittsburgh, probably not as effectively as they did against Green Bay, but I think that there's something there, and I don't think Tyler Huntley is necessarily a downgrade from Lamar Jackson right now. I think he's actually playing at a higher level than Lamar has the last few times we've seen him. So I'm taking Baltimore minus 3.5. I hate the half. It'll probably be a field goal game, like you said, Sterling, but that's what it is. I'm taking Baltimore. Darren, what do you got? Yeah.
Yeah, I listen there, right? I very usually interject, but I listen to both of your guys' points. I actually I wanted to say this. I took notes basically in my head for both things, because I just wanted to respond, not rebuttal, but like actually respond to kind of things that I thought what you were saying. For Greg, when you said the now I just forgot my train of thought. Start with Darren because then I'll remember Greg's. For yours, Darren, it comes with like the Tyler Huntley, the three step drop and knowing where you're going. Kind of how Lamar's been playing this year and Josh Allen, and a lot of people have been critical of the scrambling quarterback that really relies on athleticism. Brady has done it effectively announcing this year, and he's kind of the only person that can actually criticize Lamar and Josh Allen effectively because he's so successful. When Tony Romo does it, it kind of falls on deaf ears because it's like, well, Tony Romo never won, even though what he's saying is legitimate too because he knows how to see the game. Um, when you lose a step, what Brady was saying about Josh Allen this last game, and what people would say about Lamar is they're not actually reading defenses. They're playing backyard football and making things happen with their feet and their athleticism. Whereas somebody like Philip Rivers or, I mean, Baker or a lot of these non-athletic guys that have to rely on actually like reading a defense, they can't just hope something happens with their feet. And once you lose a step, things get bad really quickly. We kind of saw that with the best example of that in more modern day so far has been Russell Wilson, where he actually like that ankle injury ruined his career, and it's almost not, maybe it has knocked him out of the Hall of Fame. And yeah, I mean, when it comes to what you said, Greg, also kind of evoking Tom Brady, I remember what I was saying is like there was no team when I was in high school and in college that I would rather play in the playoffs than Mike Tomlin's Steelers. When I was a Patriots fan, I was just frothing at the mouth if they somehow got through into the AFC Championship game or the division. I just was like, oh, free win. So that's just what it is. I think like they've hit a pinnacle or reached a peak that they can't get over the hump to win 3 or 4 playoff games. And I don't know why Pittsburgh hasn't seen that. The ownership doesn't like firing coaches, and I know they've had 3 coaches in 1,000 years. Okay, that's actually an awesome thing. It's good to have a family around your football team, but at what point does that not annoy the fan base enough to say like, what are we doing? So that was the two things that I was trying to think of when you guys were talking. It's going to be a fun game, I guess. I think it's a fun game. It's basically the AFC North and the NFC South are the two divisions that I think both of us have. We don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl. There's a lot of debate on that, on who's the best team, who has no chance compared like in these good teams. I think we could be pretty for certain that the AFC North champion and the NFC South champion are not winning the Super Bowl. That's what I could be certain on, and there's probably consensus there. So those are the three main games. And we'll just talk about the rest briefly, and then we'll get out of your hair. It'll be a quick podcast. We might do a little award talk at the end, just because it's kind of, I think a lot of things swung on that Stafford game, but probably not too much award talk because it's going to be just spat at you via every podcast you listen to because the line swung a lot. So we'll just go down these real quick. Jets at the Bills. The Bills are 7.5 point favorites. The Jets have given up. I honestly, uh, I don't know how this is 7.5. It might only be because Josh Allen might not play the whole game because they're kind of locked into their seed. I think unless things happen that are not within their control. Uh, I don't know why the Jets aren't. The Jets shouldn't be within a 14 point spread. That being said, who knows about these 14 point spreads anymore? But 7.5, give me the Bills. That's it. I'm not going to give no more info on that. Brady Cook. Have fun,
Yeah,
Greg.
this is one of the sneaky last of the season lines that I don't necessarily like, but I don't see why the Jets would try to win this game either. So I got to assume they go out there and Buffalo kind of wins this in a sleepwalk. So I think they probably cover by 3 or 4 points. So yeah, I'll take Buffalo reluctantly. Darren?
Is would Trubisky not get this cover? That's one question. And then the other one was, is Aaron Glenn going to be fired after 1 year? I think he should be.
I don't think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
I
think I
I
don't.
think he should be. I don't think he will be.
Well, I don't think he should be either. I mean, I think he needs to get the opportunity to draft a quarterback that he likes, which he didn't have this year,
That's fair.
and see how that goes, and if he can get to close to 500 next year with the quarterback he likes, or looks like he's making positive progress. I mean, the Jets, if they need anything, they need stability. Firing him at this point, it just continues the never ending tailspin. And yeah,
That's fair. That's fair. I
yeah,
do I do think that there's no quarterback in this draft though that's worth that
that's fair.
draft
That's
pick
fair too.
because I've heard that the Saints would not trade Tyler Shuck for the first overall pick that was offered to
Wow.
them. I know maybe it's him, but who knows? I read that they wouldn't trade Tyler Shuck for the first overall pick in this draft. So Mendoza's not worth Tyler Shuck. Who is it? Like, what does that mean? Uh, Lions, like, there's just throwing that out there. Lions, Bears. Bears are 3-point favorites. I guess they're playing for a seed if the Eagles lose. I think these teams are all playing at the same time, so maybe they're scoreboard watching and pull starters. But the Lions, hmm, I really just am picking the Bears out of just anger for what Jared Goff did on Christmas Day, and I don't have anything else to say about the Lions right now. But that's another coach that they should have just said, "Hey, Dan Campbell, we really appreciate what you've done to this franchise and organization. We're going to pick Ben Johnson." But I digress. Ben Johnson is coaching on the other side here, and I think he's going to beat the Lions just like the Lions beat him in like week 3. And I think he's going to give them the little beat down here because of Jared Goff and what he did to my Christmas. He stole all my Christmas goodies.
Yeah, I don't think Chicago needs a whole lot of motivation here. I think they want to beat their divisional rival, and Detroit is playing for nothing. I mean, it's over. It's time to pack it in for the year. So I don't see them putting up a whole lot of fight. Not that they put up a whole lot of fight last week when they had an opportunity to still secure a playoff spot. But yeah, I this actually seems really low to me, and I guess that's based off of it's week 18 and we got weird motivations. But yeah, I'm taking Chicago -3. Darren?
That was a that was you didn't even believe in your own pick, and you could tell that you didn't believe in your own pick. Dan Campbell wanted to bring a live line onto the sidelines, and you said back in the corner. I was like, I'll cattle prod that line if it was there for what Jared Goff did, and I'd then turn with the cattle prod onto Jared Goff, and I'd just be stabbing him with it. Uh, but you know what Ben Johnson should do? He should wake up a grizzly bear out of slumber and a polar bear, and then just bring them both to the stadium for this game, and just bring them both to the stadium and say, "Hey, sorry, we got polar bears and grizzly bears here in Chicago. Sorry, Dan, that's what we allow here." Yeah, walk them on a leash. Packers, Vikings. Packers are not starting anybody, it seems. Who's that third string quarterback that you said is worse than what'd you say about him? You said you I don't know, you said something. Yeah. Is he starting at 4th string? Guess it doesn't because they're 5.5 point underdogs here in Minnesota, and I think it's my boy. I still don't know his name, and he lost me a lot of money, so I'm not gonna. Don't tell me his name. I'm gonna take the Vikings here because I think it's Clayton Tune, who I do know is worse than him, and that's surprising. We have a lot of bad quarterbacks here. I'm gonna take the Vikings to cover. Yeah, I'm gonna take them because I don't think Malik Willis is starting here. If it's 5.5, I think that means Malik and Jordan Love are not playing in this. Am I reading that line right? Did I read that wrong? It's Vikings -5.5. Yeah, yeah. Then yeah, I don't think I honestly think the Packers are not gonna play anybody. So yeah, give me the Vikings. Did he play last week? Did Josh Jacobs play last week? I think he got 1.5 fantasy points in people's fantasy. Hmm, didn't seem like it. Maybe you can suit up out there, Darren. You should walk through security. You should just try to walk through security and see if they let you in. So like, yeah, yeah, you should actually try that. See, they let you on the field. You're big enough, and you would look like a player. They'd say like, yeah, I'm here to play. They'd literally probably let you play, and you can have like a Rudy 2 made for you. Greg, what do you have in this game?
Yeah, Minnesota -5.5. There's nobody playing for Green Bay. No reason to win. And Minnesota, I don't know. So who's starting for them? the quarterback? Is it Brosmer? Brosmer? Yeah, I'll take
Might be
Brosmer
Darren.
for almost a touchdown. Yeah, it might be Darren. I'll take Darren for minus a touchdown. Yeah, Darren, you taking Minnesota?
Oh, here we go again. They're playing everybody,
Jesus.
dude. They want to win this game. They don't give a fuck. They want better draft position. They want
This
worse
might
draft
be the bet of
position.
the week right here, honestly.
Jefferson wants to score touchdowns. Jefferson's going to score like 4 touchdowns in this game. I bet Keyshawn Nixon's playing. I bet he doesn't get the game off. I bet he hasn't played. I bet he hasn't played this one. Oh, your secondary starting. Cowboys at Giants. Keep going. Yeah, this might be a good bet for him. Cowboys at Giants. Giants are 3.5 point underdogs here. Why? And why are the Cowboys playing people anymore? Like, what are we doing? God, Dallas should destroy them. Giants won the game they shouldn't have won, and they won it going away, and they're celebrating. And then I see the tweet from their first round pick this year, Abdul Carter, saying, "Hell yeah, we got that dub. I'm going for defensive rookie of the year next." Huh? He better not win that award. I don't know what the odds are for that, but he better not be anywhere near the top of that for what he's done this year. I think he has 2 sacks. Give me the Cowboys just based off that. I didn't want to bet them, but I feel like I have to. Or pick them. Greg?
These are all coin flip games. I'm taking the Giants plus the 3 just because it's a coin flip, and I'm getting 3. There's no reason. I don't think anybody
Yeah.
wants to win this game, but whatever. Darren.
What are the 3? Careful.
Hey, Darren.
Okay.
Did they do the same for offensive player of the year? Okay. Where's Bijan at? Yeah.
That's nonsense. He should be higher than that. This is so stupid how we're doing odds, and the last 3 weeks are all that matter. I'm just being honest. I'm happy that Drake Mason won MVP, but it's like, how about we don't let the odds swing 800 each way based off 1 week, based off 3 plays?
It's the most temperamental market, the awards stuff. Yeah.
Let's not even allow the market to open until week 16.
Well, that's no fun. That's no fun for the bookie.
Yeah, but it just doesn't make
Think of all
sense.
the people holding Baker Mayfield MVP tickets.
How
You
about
know?
Jonathan Taylor Offensive Player of the Year tickets?
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of people out there with those. Yeah.
Okay. Commanders, Eagles, Eagles 7.5. Josh Johnson's still starting. Eagles are playing for seeding. Eagles looked good that first half against the Bills. I'm going to take them to win by over a touchdown. Enough said on that. Greg?
Yeah, I don't like this one at all, but I'm following you. Philadelphia minus 7.5. The win over Buffalo did not inspire confidence, and Buffalo really should have won that game clearly. But um, yeah, I'm taking Philadelphia plus 7.5 or minus 7.5. Darren.
Bengals 7.5 as well, favored over the Browns. Browns won their Super Bowl last year. They're looking for their second Super Bowl this or last week. They're looking for their second Super Bowl this week to get Myles Garrett's sack record. He will get it against the Bengals. I don't think Burrow is going to be able to evade the pressure, but I do think the Bengals will win by over a touchdown as well because Shador cannot cover or win another game playing the way he's playing. And it makes me sick that people are supporting him in any regard and capacity the way that he's been playing this position. He's been the worst quarterback in football, even worse than Brady Cook. Unbelievable. Bengals.
Yeah, I'm
More
taking
than a
Bengals
touchdown.
too. I think Joe Burrow is trying to make a case for his potential trade or whatever he's trying to accomplish. I don't know, but they're putting up points, and Cleveland
He's having fun.
struggles. Cleveland struggles in that front. So, Darren.
Or is he? Where is Shador in the offensive rookie of the year? Look that up while I move on to this. We're all in the Bengals here, but Broncos at Chargers at the Broncos. Broncos are 11.5 point favorites. It's Trey Lance is starting here, and the Chargers are sitting everybody. Last time I checked, the Broncos just beat the Chiefs with Chris Oladuke by 3 points. I do not care if the Chargers are playing me at quarterback. I think I would cover 11.5 against this Broncos team. They are limping into the 1 seed. The Broncos will win this game. They will not win by 12 points. They're going to win this game by 7 points, 8 points, 9 points, 10 points, maybe 11 points, but not 12 points. give me the Chargers to cover this. How's that take, Greg? How do you like that take?
I like that take so much that I'm gonna follow you. We see the Broncos with these massive numbers every week, and they never cover as favorites. And I don't see why that's any different this week. I think that defense, as vaunted as it is, has had trouble at times, and I think the Chargers could sneak away with an outright win, honestly here, but probably unlikely. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Chargers plus the points. Darren.
He's played enough games, all right. Okay, so who are you? You're on the Chargers too. Well, they haven't covered any games since then, by the way, because I'm just thinking back. I'm trying to think if they have. It feels like they have not. They covered that game against the Packers would be the only one that they covered since then, actually. No offense to your team, but yes, it's the only one. They cover the short ones. They don't cover the big ones. Dolphins at Patriots. Patriots are 10.5-point favorites here. Again, this is for seeding. If they lose this, Jacksonville could jump them. 10.5 is kind of high because it's a division rival, but the Dolphins are coming up to New England. Quinn Ewers, I'm surprised that he beat the Bucs, but the Bucs look like a team limping. Drake May's going to play good. I think it's actually unbelievable how good he is. I cannot say enough. I really can't. Like I'm honestly astonished. I'm It's unbelievable watching him play. His highlight reel is unbelievable, and it's not just a highlight reel. It's every single fucking snap with the guy. Unbelievable how good he is. Patriots will win this game, I think, going away. And I hope he's not having to play in the full game again because I don't want him taking hits and just go into playoffs healthy. One thing about the Pats, only thing I'm going to say, very alarming news came out about Stephon Diggs today. They are not going to, I think, sit him. I think they're going to let the process play out. And it sounds like they're trying to settle with the plaintiff. So I have no idea about any of the information there, but I think that it's going to be unresolved by season's end is basically what it's seeming like. So I don't think it's going to have an impact on the season. If they lose Diggs in the playoffs, I think that probably loses them the chance at having a chance at the Super Bowl because they would not have Mac Hollins or Diggs. And that football-wise would be terrible. Obviously, non-football related issues are off the field stuff, and it sounds like a serious allegation. So that being said, Greg, 10.5, Patriots, Dolphins.
Yeah, it's really too bad. I mean, Stephon seems like such a nice guy. We never really see anything bad come out about him off season. There's never any chatter about him. So it's really out of character to see him have allegations of strangling his private chef over an unpaid bill. But I got to assume he's completely innocent, and he will be vindicated. And the Patriots will go on to win the Super Bowl. But I'm taking the Patriots minus 10.5, despite them not having, Stephon Diggs out there to play. I just think this team is, I don't know. They're pretty special. I don't want to glaze on them too much because we spend all week as a unit texting back and forth about how good the Patriots are or how good Drake May is. And, I think we've all had enough of that, or at least two out of the three here have had enough of that. But the Pats cover this easy. I think that they can put up a 14 touchdown differential between the Miami Dolphins and themselves pretty easily. So yeah, Darren, what do you got? They really do. Real character.
The only thing I'm going to say is Darren and Greg, I don't know if Darren has actually been recording this whole time, so it might just be blank space and it might just condense. I don't know. It doesn't show any recording on him. So I hope he isn't recording, so then we don't have to hear the bullshit ass takes that he's been giving this whole time. We'll have to see in the post cut. Let's see, who of the Packers employed a quarterback most recently before Jordan Love? Brett Favre, very good guy.
Matt Flynn was a good guy.
Matt Flynn's a good guy.
Yeah, good guy, Matt.
Aaron Rodgers, yeah, very good guy. Aaron Rodgers, yeah, just a genuinely awesome person. Hundley, I don't know about him. Question, I need to look into him a little more. I'll give you Matt Flynn. Hundley, maybe. Jordan Love, he's a good guy, but I don't know about Hundley. Chiefs at Raiders. Raiders are 5.5-point underdogs against Chris Oladuke. I guess this is Travis Kelce's swan song. Is he going to do a jersey swap with Brock Bowers at the end of the game? A little pass the magic torch. to who he sees as the next guy. Even though I think Trey McBride might be better than Brock Bowers now after these 2 seasons he's had back to back. It's actually unbelievable what McBride's done. Chiefs here. The Raiders are actually unbelievably bad. I think Max Crosby's going to play in this game now. I think they've tried to say, "Hey, sorry about that." Hmm? I don't understand how they are allowed to do what they just did. Hey, go home for the week. We don't need you. I guess I have to take the Chiefs. I really think the Raiders. Yeah, it's going to be Kenny Pickett too. So I don't know what they're doing. Chiefs 5.5. Some really bad teams in this league. Going
Yeah,
that quickly.
I'm taking Chiefs 5.5. I don't have a whole lot to say other than, yeah, Raiders are just the worst team I have seen them play in a long, long time. Yeah.
They beat the Patriots. I can't believe they beat the Patriots. Cardinals and Rams. Rams 7.5 point favorites. This seems like a game where the Rams are going to take care of business. They've really been bad in December. December's over. January is here. I think this is just a game where McVay and Stafford will be on the same page again. And who knows? Maybe Stafford will win the MVP in this game. I don't know because of how the odds work. But I do think the Rams are going to absolutely blow out the Cardinals. And this is maybe Adams plays in this game. It might be on a limited snap count. Maybe it's 25 snaps, red zone only. I don't know. But I do think the Rams win this game by 21 or something like that. This might be a game where you can alt spread the Rams. If they're benching people, of course that means nothing. But I think that the Rams, if they want to play this game, they're going to win by 21 points because this is a game where they're just going to run it up. Greg?
Yeah, well, if anybody knows, please chime in. I think that if they win this game, they have a shot at the 5 seed.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they win, they get the 5. If they lose, they get the 6.
But they play this game after the Seahawks and 49ers. So we won't. So this actually should be a void game, but whatever. It's like.
So explain that to me. If Seattle gets the number 1 seed, this game's irrelevant? Or. Okay, so San Francisco has to beat Seattle for this game to matter to LA. That's tricky.
I honestly don't care if it's Stafford or whoever the backup is.
Garoppolo.
But Jimmy G is the backup.
Yeah, I'll take the Rams. I'll take the Rams. Yeah, I'll take the Rams. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with Jimmy G. Saints Falcons. Falcons -3. I'm going with the Falcons. I think they want to make sure they fuck up the Bucs. I think the Saints are one of the hottest teams in football, actually, and I know they haven't beat anybody great. They have beat the Bucs and the Panthers, but they are a fun team to watch. And I actually like Tyler Shuck, like we've talked about in this podcast. But the Falcons, Bijan, like you said, Greg, 50-1, disrespectful, or was it 500-1, whatever it is, for offensive player of the year. I like Bijan. I think he thinks God a little too much. I'm just going to say that at the post game. It literally was. Scott Van Pelt started laughing at him. It's like, Jesus Christ, no pun intended. How much are you going to thank the Lord and Savior? I mean, let's talk about the game a little. He kept doing it. It felt like a bit. I don't know if you watched the post game at all. I was watching it in the hotel. I was like, is this serious? The offensive line was with him. This is just a little tidbit. The offensive line was with Bijan, and then they went to them after Matthews, whoever the Matthews is for the Falcons. He's like Bijan said, gotta thank the man upstairs. He always brings to the practice. We always think and it's like, I think they were doing a bit with them. I felt like they were not being honest because of how over the top it was. That is not to say, don't thank the man upstairs. I think the man upstairs every day. I wake up in the morning and breathe fresh air. But I am saying, I like Bijan a lot. I like the man upstairs a lot. And I like the Falcons a lot in this game against the Saints, -3.
Well, Sterling, in this day and age, I think we're supposed to say the person upstairs. And we all are aware that that's a very sensitive thing. So I agree that
Tony Soprano would fucking hate your guts.
I'm going with Atlanta too. I don't know. I really like the New Orleans direction that they're heading in. Everybody likes Tyler Shuck. He's a good story, but he is not, the second coming of Christ, our Lord and Savior. And I just don't want to bet against Bijan. I think Bijan has been on a tear. I think he continues that. I think he's really trying to make the case for the fact that he is Bijan Robinson and that the team is better every time he has the ball in his hands. And as soon as they get a coach that understands that there in Atlanta, the better off they'll be. So I'm taking Atlanta -3, and I'm really just taking Bijan -3. Darren, what do you got?
Yeah, I can't believe we made all those little puns right there about our Lord in person, Jesse Christ, and we didn't once say anything about the Saints in those puns.
That's
Um,
fair.
Big mistake on our part.
That's a drop.
Tennessee at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's 12.5-point favorites. Tennessee's been playing better, and Cam Ward actually has been playing well enough, well enough, and that's all you can say for a first-year quarterback at this point. I don't think everybody's going to be Jaden Daniels or Andrew Luck or et cetera, et cetera. Jacksonville has somebody to play for. Tennessee does not. Jacksonville will win this game. 12.5, sure. 2 touchdowns, sure. I don't care. 12.5, I'm taking Jacksonville. The big spreads this week, I'm happy with. I'm going Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a big spread for a reason. It's a huge mismatch. You've got a potent offense, potent defense against Tennessee. So yeah, give me the 12.5. I'll take it.
Okay, last game. Indianapolis at Houston. Houston 10.5-point favorites. Um, Phillip Rivers, retire, please, before you get hurt in this one. If you're starting this one, Riley Leonard should get a chance, I think. I don't know why not. I know that Phillip Rivers. I don't know. I just don't want Phillip Rivers to get hurt. I think it's been fun to see him back in football. I do not want him to get injured in this game. 10.5 for the Texans again. They're playing for something. Phillip Rivers did say this before the last game. I do not play to lose. I like playing football. I play every game. This is my job. That's also what the Falcons said after they played in Monday Night Football. I think that's a good mentality to have as a football player, and that's a good mentality to have as an athlete, but it's a team's job to try to lose games when they need to draft higher. I don't think it matters who the quarterback is for the Colts, though. I think the Texans win this game by a lot of points. Good, good, good. Okay, well then the Texans are going to win this game by 31 points.
Yeah, is this Riley's first start?
Yes.
Oh, dude, yeah. This
You know who
is
else had this first start against the Texans?
who's
A man by the name of Drake May.
how did that go for him?
Played fine. I mean, they lost. They didn't have much of a team, but he played okay.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean that like a taunt. I actually did not know. I was just wondering if he won or
Oh yeah, it was
lost
last
or
season. It was week 5, I think, and
okay.
he played decent. It wasn't impressive. He made a great throw at the end of
Yeah.
the first half, but
Hey, well that's a tough team to play in your rookie year. And Riley will find that out in his first start against them. I think 10.5 is a little bit generous to the Colts here. I just don't see them finding headway in a game where Houston really does have some motivation, and I think will come out just guns blazing, and they'll be salivating at taking 3 or 4 picks off of Riley. So yeah, Darren.
super high up there. Okay, we said hard stop at an hour. We're at 1 hour and 6 seconds. We're gonna be right over because we have our best bet, and that'll be it. We're gonna do our best bet right now. I am saying for my best bet, I am going Houston minus 10.5. Now that I heard it was Riley Leonard's first start, I am sorry, Riley. Don't mean to do it to you. Greg, best bet.
This one's coming from the heart. I'm taking Seattle minus 1.5.
Ooh, Darren.
That's a good. What is that,
Wow.
like plus
Pitt
150?
money line.
Nice.
Okay. Well, we will be back after. Honestly, we should do a pod, Darren, on Saturday night and maybe Sunday night. But Saturday night is when we should do one after those 2 games. So we should do. But we will discuss this. We'll be back Saturday night, Sunday night, or both. Who knows? I don't know. Nobody knows. But we will be back. Greg, Darren, Sterling, depersonalizing again. It has been a fun regular season picking with you fellas. It's been more fun picking football than it is picking your ass. That's what the good Lord Tony Soprano always said. So we'll be back and we will pick playoffs. Love you both. See you soon. Salute.
Peace.